Rents usually go up by 3% on average per year. So in 10 years, your rent gonna go up by 30%. But in the last year or so, rents went up almost 20%. In the same time period, homes went up by almost 20% also. In the US, rent is about 45% of the average American's income, when it should be 30% or less. Rent is really killing our pockets. It's really hurting the average American. And it's not just rent prices going up, it's cost of living period going up, food prices, gas prices, you name it, it's going up. So in this video, I'm going to talk about one strategy and a few little strategies that you could use in your real life so you won't get killed by rent. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Level Up Finance, where we talk about money, mindset on the road to get millions. So boom, everybody hate paying for rent. You know, I paid for rent before, I hated it, but it's something I had to do and something a lot of us got to do because we want a house over our head. We want a place to go live. We don't want to be homeless, right? So you got to pay your rent or your mortgage. As a renter, you don't have no true control over your rent. Your landlord going to increase rent ever so often. You're not going to like it, but that's the way it is. As a landlord, I could tell you the reason why we raise y'all rent up. Because if cost of maintenance go up, if taxes go up, if insurance go up, if lights go up, like as far as the hallway lights, the outside lights and things of that nature, if all these things go up, water bill goes up because usually tenants don't have to pay for the water. If all these things go up and say our costs of operating our business, because being a landlord, owning properties is a business, if it went up by $300 per month, we got to put that on the tenants, just like any other business. Being a landlord is a business, so they have to pass that along to their tenants. If it's only one tenant, then you're going to eat up the whole 300. If it's 4 tenants, then I'm going to split it 4 ways. If it's 8 tenants, different units, then I have to split it up 8 ways. So depending on how many units it could be less. Before I get into the strategies, I'm going to talk about home prices through the years and decades, how they increased. Back in the 1940s, you could buy a home for $3,000. In the 1980s, you could buy a home for around $50,000. In the 2000s, early 2000s, you could buy a home for roughly $120,000. Now, the median home price is about $374,000. Now, the average rent in 1940 was $27. From then to now, it went up to $1,104. Now, let's go to the average salary. The average salary back in 1940 was $956. Now, the average salary is around $33,000. So in that time period, the median house price went up from $3,000 to $374,000. Now rent went from $27 to $1,104, and salaries went up a little bit. So imagine owning a property that went up with inflation, because this is what it is, all inflation. They saying to buy, gold and silver for inflation too. But yeah, a home is an asset when it comes to inflation, even though Robert Kiyosaki said a home is a liability if it's a single family, but if it's a multi-family, it's a different story. So I'm basically saying owning real estate is a great thing. So if you're a renter, you got a couple of small strategies, simple strategies, I call it, to decrease your rent. You could get roommates. All right, that's a great way to decrease your rent. If you have some people in there to, help pay your bill. But as a grown man, I wouldn't want that because I love privacy. If you have a girlfriend and you got some dude in there that you don't really know like that, like it will feel crazy. All right. But if you young and it just you and your boys, that's cool, But if you older, 30 and up, you probably don't want to live with nobody that you don't really know. All right. So you can Airbnb your place. That's another strategy. Maybe you don't have use your place a couple of days out of the week or whatever. You could try to Airbnb and get some money that way. But that's really it. This strategy, which is the big strategy now, is to own a 2 to 4 family property. These are considered residential properties, so you still get the lowest interest rates if you have great credit. You got the best terms because it's residential, all right? It's not a commercial property. 5 units and up is considered commercial, so you get the best rates. So what I would do if I really wanted to eliminate rent, hey, say we find a 4-family property, me and my friend. First of all, we would have to sign an agreement and put everything in there. Like, you're responsible for 50% of the property. I'm responsible for 50% of the property. How much money we gonna put down? Write that everything up, and you can use a real estate attorney for all this. All right, you could just write up a operating agreement and be good as gold with that. Right. So I own 50%. You only own 50%, and say we bought a $400,000 property. I basically did all the math with a calculator, right? So you own a $4,000 property, you got $6,000 in taxes, you get about $3,400 in insurance, and we put down 5% owner occupied. We could do a conventional loan like this, 5%. So we put 5% down on a $400,000 property. That's $20,000. So we got to come up with $10,000 each. And the typical rent is $1,100. So in a year, you spend $13,000 in rent. So $10,000 is a steal. You will get that money back within 2 years of all the money you will save. So anyways, you put that money down, you get the property. So it's only, say, you and your friend, which is renting out a whole 4-family property, and mortgage is $3,000. But say the tenant, that you get, you got a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath property, something like that, and you can rent it out for $1,500 a month. So you're getting $1,500. Your friend is getting $1,500. That's $3K. So together, that's $3,000. You're paying the mortgage. You're done. And then now you got to pay smaller bills like water, which is not crazy expensive. And it's not like you maintain the property every single day. People make up excuses. Oh, I don't want to do real estate because you got to maintain it, blah, 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 all of this. I mean, once in a while, things pop up. When you fix a water heater, a water heater, that can last 10 years plus. You fix a boiler, you put in a new boiler, that can last 15 years plus. You do a roof, that's 30 years. Those are the biggest ones, like you get water leaks, I don't know, maybe here and there, but if the property is good, if you did a full inspection, and you had a good inspector, you don't have to worry about no big major stuff for a while. You get the $3,000 a month, you pay the mortgage, you're living for free.
That example was with 2 people. You could also do this with 4 people, so your down payment be a lot less. All right, instead of coming with $10,000, you could come up with $5,000 each. All right, so everything can be a lot easier. And then when it comes to the mortgage, now y'all can split it 4 ways, $750 each. All right, and then if you got a wife or a girlfriend or a husband or a boyfriend, you can split the $750. All right, and it'd be a lot even cheaper than that. And if you have kids that's 18 that got a job and you want to show them some responsibility, they could come with a little bit of money and even less money. You know what I'm saying? So it's multiple different ways you could use the strategy for your benefit. Or you could do it by yourself, which I did. I got a 2-family property. I was living rent free. I was actually getting extra $100 per month when I was living there. But when I moved out, it was like $1,000, in cash flow. And then I ended up getting a 4-family, and then the cash flow with a 4-family is the best. And it's residential, so you get the best terms, best interest rate, best everything, because it's not commercial. So if you could do it all by yourself, I suggest you do it by yourself. You live rent free and you gain a lot of money, and your life get a little better. So if you used to make $2,000 a month, and you paid $1,100 for rent every single month, and now you eliminate rent totally, you increase your income over 50%. You gave yourself a 50% raise. Anybody can get a mortgage, all right? You just need a little bit of credit and a little bit of money, and you're good. With FHA, it's 580 for your credit score. With conventional, you need at least a 620, 640, all right? And then you could get one, all right? And then you could get, programs that put the money down for you. You could do the FHA, which is 3.5. Conventional, you could go as low as 5% or whatever. So anybody can get real estate. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I was able to get it, all right? Not because I'm smart as hell, it's just because I just had a little bit of money and a little bit of credit.
So hopefully you learned something from this. If you did, if you like this, give me one of these. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll talk to you on the next one, all right? Level up.